Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Northern Soul Reaper and today I want to talk about what I've been reading over the last couple of months. It's been about 2 months since I started the channel, and in that time I've read quite a lot. This has been the time when I've really dove back into the hobby. I keep track of my reading via Goodreads, which is a really good website for logging books, and I'm currently using it to log my manga and light novel reading. I've created a shelf on there just to keep track of the things that I'm reading at the time. Before we get started, I just want to say, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, why not do so? It's the best way to get the videos as and when they come out. So hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. And also thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far and likes my videos and comments. It means a lot to see that kind of engagement on my videos. I've just hit 50 subscribers and that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for all of the support. So let's get into what I've been reading over the last couple of months. Okay, so I thought I'd start off with what I've been reading digitally. A lot of my digital reading at the minute has been using the Shonen Jump app. I'm currently reading One Piece. I decided back end of last year to kind of read from scratch back up to current, and I'm currently up to chapter 256, which is just in the middle kind of the Skypiea arc. Really enjoying One Piece. I haven't read too far ahead of where I am currently reading, but I've seen the anime past that point, of course. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's just one of those evergreen titles that it doesn't matter when you start reading it, you're always going to have a good time with it. And personally, I don't really think, yes, okay, there's a lot of chapters. There's about 970 odd chapters now, but it's not that daunting and it's perfectly feasible to read them. I read a couple of chapters a day, sometimes up to 10 chapters just if I'm in the mood. And you know, in no time I'm going to, you know, get up to current, get up to date. So yeah, I don't really feel like there's too many chapters, and if you're hesitating because of that, I would say just give it a go. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to get up to date as soon as possible. Just take your time with it and enjoy it. The next digital title that I've been reading is Dr. Stone. This is one that I started at the beginning of the year and I have managed to get up to date with it, so I'm reading that now week by week. Really enjoying Dr. Stone. I really enjoy its take on shonen. It's not a one where you're having a strong character fight another strong character. The main character is all about science, and every battle is a battle of wits. He comes up with something that's going to help turn the tide and use his brain against the brawn, and we follow them step by step as they make this technology or this item, and I really like the pacing of the series altogether. The anime is also really quite good as well. Another digital title via the Shonen Jump app that I have been reading is The Guardian of the Witch. This is the one that I've been covering in week to week chapter reviews. It's good. It's not the most original manga out there, but I am really enjoying it and I'm glad that I'm sticking with it. It tells the story of Manafsa, who is a witch, and Fafnir, her guardian, as they go out into the world against the state to try and rid the world of witches and evils forever. The evils are the creatures that the witches fight against. The witches are implanted with seeds of evil that are harvested from these evils, and they eventually take over their body and they have to be executed. So the whole story is Fafnir and Manafsa trying to find a way to reverse or stop this process, and in the process try and rid the world of witches. That's it at the minute for what I've currently been reading via the Shonen Jump app. I haven't picked up much in the way of digital manga to own recently, but one that I did pick up is No God Wife, which is published by Iridori Aqua, which is a doujinshi arm of Iridori Publishing. And No God Wife tells the story of a wife who wants her husband to love her, and it's just a nice silly story really, and I quite enjoyed it. I think there's more coming as well. Picked this up on Kindle, but I do believe it's coming to Comixology as well. Yeah, it's worth checking out if you just want a nice sort of silly series really. So that is it on the digital front. Most of my things that I've been reading now have been physical, so I've got them to the side here, so I'm just going to take you through each one and just let you know what I think of them as we go. So I have read the Persona 5 Volume 1 Manga, which is the manga adaptation of the video game. Really enjoyed this. I've got a review up on the channel now giving my in-depth thoughts on it, but it just captures the feel of the video game really well. The artwork is superb, and it's nice to see those environments that I spent so much time with in the game put into a manga form, and all the characters and the personas as well. It's really cool. Really enjoyed that one. I also read volume 1 of Quintessential Quintuplets and volume 2 of Quintessential Quintuplets. Really enjoyed this series. I love Hina from back in the day. Used to read that, and this is very much like a romancy harem type series, but it's very heartwarming. And I really like it. The first 2 volumes do a really good job of setting up the story and getting the characters where they need to be, and it just tells the story of a young man who has been hired to tutor a group of quintuplets. They're the daughters of a rich man, and he has to get them through their exams. And along the way, he basically has to get to know them all, because they're all very dangerously close to flunking out. So he has his work cut out for him. The whole story is framed around the fact that he is going to marry one of them someday. He wakes up from a daydream at the start, and it's basically the series is him remembering how he met his future wife, but hasn't told you which one, because that is where the meme of this series is, that it's the battle of the best girls. I don't really think I've decided on best girl yet, but all the characters are really really fun and friendly, and it's a really good read. I would definitely recommend picking that up. I might do a review on it later as well. This one I absolutely binged. I read volume 1 and volume 2 and volume 3 and volume 4 and 5, 6 and volume 7 of Layback Camp. I smashed through this in about a week. This is one that once I started reading it, I just couldn't put it down. I picked up volume 1 in my first ever manga haul, read that, and then I just went out and bought the entire series up to current and read them all immediately, because it's just an excellent series. Can't recommend Layback Camp enough. It's just about a group of friends going camping, eating lovely food and taking in the fantastic countryside of Japan while they're camping. It's really heartwarming and fun. And it also, I did a bit of self-reflecting when I was kind of reading it. It made me look inwards a little bit, which I don't always find in a manga. But it was, did a bit of self-reflectance. I also read volume 8 of Assassination Classroom. This is the only one that I've read over the past couple of months. I do have 9 to 12 to read as well. We're going away soon, so I'm probably going to take those along and get caught up with those. Really enjoying Assassination Classroom. It's just a really good story. It's not too long of a series as well, so if you fancy picking up a Shonen Jump title that's not going on for 50, 60 volumes. I believe it's 21 volumes. It's perfectly reasonable to just pick it up. I think they do a box of it as well, which wasn't available at the time when I started collecting, but I think they do like a full box set of it, which, it's worth your time to check out. It's a really good story. Definitely recommend Assassination Classroom. I also picked up and read All You Need Is Kill. As I've explained before in my whole video, I really enjoy the film with Tom Cruise, and I didn't actually know it was a book for years later, but I did see this on the shelf, and I picked this up, I believe, in some sort of warehouse sale. It has a little bit of like a imperfection on the cover, but I mean, I picked it up for like £3 or £4, and it's a 2-in-1 volume. It's the whole story of the book, and the artwork is absolutely phenomenal by Takeshi Obata, who is most known for Death Note. Really good sci-fi story. If you like your sci-fi, and also it's got a little bit of, it's not totally mech kind of battles, but it has that kind of, they're wearing like mechanized armor. So if you like that kind of stuff in the artwork and the story as well, definitely worth picking up. It's now made me want to go back and find the original book as well and give that a read. I also read volume 1, volume 2 and volume 3 of Lost Stars, which I cannot recommend enough. It is the manga adaptation of the novel by Claudia Gray. The artwork and story adaptation are handled by Yusaku Komiyama. It's just a beautiful love story set in a galaxy far, far away. I can't really say much else because I don't want to risk spoiling anything, but I do have a review up on the channel if you want to check out my in-depth thoughts on it. But yeah, really, really worth picking up. If you like your Star Wars and manga and you want a really good story, definitely recommend picking this up. It's set kind of in the period of the original trilogy, so it's definitely worth picking up in my opinion. Next up, we have my first pickup of a horror manga, Uzumaki, Spiral into Horror by Junji Ito. This one is horrifying, but you can't put it down. I blasted through this in a couple of nights. Junji Ito is the master of just making you want to turn the page, even though you've seen something absolutely horrific. And he has an art style that when you see the horrible things on the page, it's in stark contrast with how realistic the artwork is, and it's something that it's very special in his artwork. If you really like your Japanese horror films, this one's definitely in that vein. I would really recommend Uzumaki by Junji Ito. I'm going to go and pick up No Longer Human, which is getting a lot of good buzz at the minute, and I want to go back and pick up some of his older work as well. Really, really enjoying that. This will definitely not be the last Junji Ito title that I read. That's it in terms of manga. I have read a few light novels as well, so I'll take you through those. I read volume 1 of Overlord. Really enjoyed this. It's your typical isekai guys reborn into a video game world, but the twist being he is the bad guy. He is the final boss. This is really, really fun. The first volume is basically him getting to grips with the world and kind of meeting all the characters, because all the characters in it are NPCs from his guild, and it's kind of him acquainting himself with their actual personalities in the real virtual world, I guess. Really enjoyed it. I'm definitely going to pick up volume 2. I mean, the volumes are just so beautiful. Look, I mean, the cover is just superb, and there's some really nice artwork in here as well. I also read volume 1 of Spice and Wolf, which is a very grounded light novel. It just tells the story of a traveling merchant who meets and befriends the harvest god. But when you I mean, that does sound like a kind of a runaway it could be a story about gods and fighting and things, but it's just about being a merchant and currency speculation and selling salt for furs and selling the furs and making money. And yeah, it's just really nice. If you want a slower paced but really nice light novel to kind of chill back with, I would definitely recommend Spice and Wolf. Also picked up Konosuba Volume 1. This one I really enjoyed. It's another man is reborn into the video game world type one, but this one's just really funny. Yeah, I really like this one. The cast of characters are just so funny, and you warm to them immediately. You have one who is a wizard who can only use one spell because she loves it, and she won't put her stats into any other spell. You have a goddess who is just totally useless. She basically breaks down and cries at the simplest of tasks. And then you have the tank who basically can't attack because she loves getting hit so much. She basically has a fetish for being attacked in battle. And then the main character is he thinks he's going to be the guy to defeat the end boss, the demon lord, and he just gets kind of reborn with the basis of base stats, so he kind of has to have a bit of a reality check. Definitely like Konosuba. We'll be checking out more. I also read, this isn't a light novel, this is a novel, but I read The Miracles of the Nami General Store. This one is absolutely phenomenal. It's a story that manages to weave so many different threads together across the ages and bring them together in a really satisfying way. It reminded me a little bit of Your Name in terms of the premise. Yeah, really enjoyed Miracles of the Nami General Store. It's just a lovely, heartwarming story. It's got lots of different viewpoints through the years of different people, and how this general store that gives advice like an agony aunt brought them all together in a way, but they didn't really get brought together. It's weird. You have to read it. It's got a really nice, just a really nice message in it as well. Yeah, definitely recommend reading that. The final light novel that I have read this month is The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Picked this up and volume 2 years ago and just never read them. It was probably like, when did I pick this up? Like 2012. And just kind of put them on the shelf and never read them. And I decided, yeah, I'm going to read this. It's been on my shelf staring at me for so long. I best read it. And it's really good. Just tells the story of a girl who she wants the weird and wonderful from science fiction and fiction to be real so much that she wills it into existence. But if she knows about it, she might destroy the world. It's got a really interesting premise. The characters are really fun. Don't want to spoil too much, but yeah, it's a really good one. I would definitely recommend picking it up if you like just a more slice of lifey kind of light novel, but it does have weird and wonderful in the plot points as well. But this one's definitely more, it's more grounded. It's set in a high school, but it does have weird and wonderful elements as well. Just not as much as your typical isekai, you know, reborn in another world. That's pretty much it for what I've been reading this month. I'm hoping to do these videos maybe monthly, just kind of go through what I've been reading in that particular month and give you my insights on it. It's a good way to do like mini reviews in addition to some in-depth reviews on series as well. I would love to review every series as I finish it. I would love to put up like a full video in-depth look at it, but obviously, you know, like with any hobby, you know, I need to find the time to read these things and then to film the reviews and to edit them. So like any hobby, you know, finding the free time is part of the battle. I'd like to do a little video about backlogs and managing those as well, because I do have some insights on that I've picked up along the years from, you know, reading and playing video games, but that's for another video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at what I've been reading over the last couple of months. Let me know in the comments below what you've been reading. You know, and I'm always looking for new recommendations. I've found some really good recommendations through my channel already. Thank you so much for leaving comments recommending series. I've picked up a few of the recommendations already, so they might appear in a future monthly reading video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, please consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel and ringing the bell. It's the best way to get the videos as and when they come out. I also have the social medias now. You can follow me on Twitter. I have an Instagram as well. There are links below in the description. Give those a follow if you like. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Northern Soul Reaper, and until next time, goodbye.